Welcome to lumberpro, where explosions happen without warning. Get ready for some of the most intense and amazing fire moments caught on camera. Unexpected, unstoppable, unforgettable. Check it out. Welcome to lumberpro channel. A massive fire is raging intensely, with thick black smoke billowing high into the sky. Explosions can still be heard from within the flames, adding to the danger. Numerous fire trucks have been deployed, working urgently to contain the blaze and prevent it from spreading further. The flames burned with terrifying intensity, thick black smoke rising high into the sky, revealing that this fire was far from small in the dead of night. This fierce scene was captured by a passerby on their phone, leaving viewers shuddering at the overwhelming destructive power of the blaze. A fierce thunderstorm is about to strike, with lightning bolts tearing across the sky, flashing relentlessly and illuminating a corner of the dark night. Amid the chaos, excited screams echo from a group. The flames roared fiercely, engulfing the entire house in a blazing sea of fire, spreading rapidly and relentlessly as everything seemed to be consumed before our eyes. Firefighters rushed in, spraying powerful streams of water, desperately trying to contain the raging blaze. Despite their relentless efforts, the damage to the home has become severe, painting a tragic and haunting scene.
I don't know.
The explosion erupted suddenly, right in front of the vehicle, leaving everyone in shock. A large fire broke out on the vehicle, which then exploded shortly afterward. After the blast, people scattered in panic. A massive blaze erupts, sending thick black smoke billowing high into the sky, blanketing the entire area. In mere moments, everything nearby is consumed by the monstrous Inferno, a terrifying force of destruction that devours everything in its path without mercy. A terrifying explosion lit up the sky like a giant fireball erupting out of nowhere, blasting everything in its path. The shockwave shook the ground, sending people fleeing in all directions. Screams echoed through the chaos as panic gripped the scene. It happened in mere seconds, but the horror it left behind will be remembered for a long time. Flames soared high, with thick black smoke curling densely into the air. The blaze continued to rage uncontrollably, putting the nearby buildings at serious risk, threatening to spread at any moment.
¡Mierda! 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 Marico, la bola de humo y de fuego que te caga.
¡La concha de la luz! ¡Pero déjame grabar! Mira, escúchame. ¡Está dando algo!
Quédate quieta.
En la madre se siente el pinche calorón bien feo. Su puta madre.
The fuel depot blazed fiercely like an uncontrollable inferno, thick black smoke billowing upward, shrouding the sky like a deathly veil. Furious flames danced, licking every drop of fuel, making the fire nearly impossible to extinguish.
Ojalá no haya pescado a nadie, a los medios están retirando.
Ya se están yendo, ya se van a ir
Se
mejor.
van a mover hasta que no se queme todo el mugrero ahí.
Eso se va a volver a agarrarla, lo va a ver otra explosión bien grande, vas a ver. ¿Sentiste el calor, Lalín?
At first, it seemed like just an ordinary fire, but suddenly, a massive explosion erupted, causing the flames to surge and spread rapidly. Panic swept through the scene as people scrambled to back away in fear. The terrifying blast left behind devastation in a matter of seconds. A massive fire erupted right on the busy street, with roaring flames glowing bright red and thick black smoke billowing into the sky. Cameras captured the scene from multiple angles, highlighting every fierce flicker and flying spark. Crowds of curious onlookers stood at a distance, their eyes fixed on the blaze, mixed with both fascination and concern, while the sound of whispers and fire truck sirens added to the intense atmosphere.
A vehicle suddenly exploded and burst into flames on the road. The fire spread rapidly and became difficult to control, forcing nearby vehicles to back away from the blaze. Fortunately, emergency crews arrived swiftly and managed to bring the fire under control.
Thick plumes of smoke rise relentlessly from the heart of the fire, rolling like ghostly white waves that stretch across the sky. The air grows heavy. Visibility fades as the dense smoke blots out the sunlight. The scene is blanketed in tension and dread, a haunting reminder of the fire's destructive power. Even as the fire subsides, faint flashes continue to erupt from within, small, crackling bursts like leftover fireworks in the aftermath. These lingering sparks are strange and unsettling, a subtle warning that the danger may not yet be over.
Something just exploded down the road from my place, my house. Just walking my dogs. There was like a really huge bang or explosion, and it's coming from where I guess there were homeless people living in the woods there. I think something, I don't know where it is, but there were homeless people living somewhere in those woods there. It was just a really big loud bang, and black smoke is never good.
The fire was captured from afar by a curious bystander. Although the flames are not visible, thick black smoke can be seen rising steadily into the sky, a clear sign of the fire's intensity. Fire engines race to the scene with sirens blaring, underscoring that this is no ordinary blaze, but a serious and escalating emergency.
See the flames over the... Oh my god, something in there is really on fire. The flames are coming out like right through there, which means the trees... In the back. I mean, they've got like SUVs here, they don't have any of the fire trucks here yet. Jesus Christ. Okay, they're trying to get the fire truck in there. Of course, they fenced that whole area off. Holy, it smells awful. Oh, there's one. Deal with the fire. There's a lot of crackling happening too. Something definitely exploded.
The flames flared up more fiercely than ever, engulfing everything in their path. Thick, dense black smoke billowed high into the sky, spreading across the area and creating a terrifying scene that sent chills down everyone's spine. Lightning suddenly struck two moving cars, with a blinding flash and a thunderous boom that left everyone in shock. The sky, dark and furious, lights up with blinding bolts of lightning slashing across the heavens like blades of pure energy. Suddenly, a massive strike hits the mountaintop directly, and in an instant, the peak erupts in a violent explosion, bursting into flames like a bomb has gone off. A witness screams in panic, their hands trembling as they film the scene on their phone, overwhelmed by the sheer, terrifying force of nature unleashed before their eyes. The power lines right in front of the house caught fire fiercely, with wires sparking and crackling explosively, creating an extremely dangerous and tense scene. The flames spread rapidly, threatening the safety. The fire raged with terrifying intensity, crackling and roaring as it devoured everything in its path. The house was being swallowed whole by the flames, the sounds echoing with eerie violence. Thick black smoke billowed upward, covering the sky. The Inferno continued to blaze uncontrollably, reducing everything to ashes. A terrifying wildfire is raging out of control, with blazing red flames devouring vast swathes of land. Thick white smoke coils upward, whipped by the wind, spreading far and wide, cloaking the sky in a suffocating haze of ash and despair. The crackling of collapsing trees, the roaring of flames like a beast unleashed, all merge into a symphony of chaos. Nature itself seems to be screaming in agony. The fire broke out after a violent collision between two vehicles on the road. Flames quickly erupted, and thick black smoke filled the air, completely obscuring visibility in the area. Firefighters arrived promptly at the scene and began extinguishing the blaze immediately to prevent the situation from escalating further. The scene was chaotic and alarming for everyone nearby. Massive explosions echoed as fire broke out at Kimki Shopping Center, Russia. Fierce flames consumed the entire area. Thick black smoke filled the sky, causing panic and total destruction. Before us, a chain of explosions erupts in rapid succession, each blast thundering through the air with terrifying force. In an instant, everything nearby is obliterated. Debris flies in all directions. The ground trembles beneath the impact. Thick smoke and dust rise into the sky, blanketing the area in a choking haze, turning the scene into a wasteland of destruction and disbelief. This is the devastating aftermath of successive explosions, with flames rapidly spreading and consuming everything in their path. Thick black smoke blankets the area, creating a scene of utter destruction. The wailing sirens echo ceaselessly, signaling chaos and total devastation at the site. The terrifying explosion shattered everything in an instant. The powerful blast force hurled debris high into the air, filling the sky with thick dust and smoke. The damage is extensive and still unaccounted for, leaving behind a scene of devastation and chaos. The explosion thundered across the sky, followed by a massive blaze roaring fiercely, with thick black smoke rising high into the night sky. Panic swept through the area, screams of terror echoed non-stop, and people scattered wildly, desperately trying to escape. This is the full video capturing the intense fire, followed by a terrifying explosion. The scene is truly harrowing. Raging flames, thick smoke, and dust blanket the entire area, plunging it into chaos and panic. A terrifying explosion erupts without warning, unleashing a powerful shockwave that sends everything around it flying into the air. The deafening blast echoes like thunder, shaking the ground as debris is hurled in all directions. Thick clouds of dust and smoke rise rapidly, engulfing the area in an impenetrable haze, rendering the scene almost unrecognizable. A grain dryer in Orenburg, near the Kazakhstan border, caught fire violently. The blaze spread rapidly, causing multiple explosions and a full building collapse. Thick smoke rose as residents fled in panic. A powerful explosion rocked a chemical plant in the city of Shahizi, followed by a massive fire that engulfed the area. Thick black smoke billowed high into the sky, visible from miles away. From a safe distance, bystanders watched in horror as the flames raged uncontrollably. Many were visibly shaken, overwhelmed by the sheer scale and ferocity of the Inferno. The explosion struck without warning, erupting like thunder as flames shot skyward through thick, choking black smoke. The blast was so powerful that debris was hurled violently in all directions, a clear sign of the devastating force behind the detonation. The flames gradually spread from the core, scorching every fiber, turning the ancient tree into a living torch, growling fiercely in the dark night. A terrifying explosion suddenly erupted, with fierce flames blazing and thick, choking black smoke billowing high into the sky. The deafening blast echoed throughout the area, sending people nearby into a state of panic as they scattered wildly in all directions, desperate to find safety. A massive explosion suddenly occurred on the banks of the Ganges River in Nahadi, shaking the entire area. The thunderous blast shattered the river's calm, with flames and thick smoke rising violently into the air, sending nearby residents fleeing in fear. The scene turned chaotic, and the cause of the explosion is still under investigation. According to reports, a massive fire and explosion erupted at an oil factory in Chennai. The blaze raged uncontrollably, sending thick black smoke billowing into the sky and blanketing the entire area. The scale of the fire was so overwhelming that extinguishing it quickly. Flames are raging fiercely, thick smoke swirling into the air. Two brave firefighters rush to the scene, struggling to contain the blaze before it grows furious and devours everything in its path. A devastating explosion rocked an oil refining plant, causing significant damage and shaking the surrounding area. Firefighters are urgently working to contain the fierce blaze, but the flames continue to rage uncontrollably, spreading at an alarming rate. Thick, black smoke blankets the sky, obscuring visibility and creating a chaotic scene that hampers rescue efforts. Residents nearby remain fearful as the destructive fire shows no sign of being brought under control. The $24 million super yacht caught fire fiercely just weeks after being delivered to its owner. Flames engulfed the vessel as thick, black smoke billowed heavily into the sky, creating a chaotic and terrifying scene on the water. A massive explosion followed by a large-scale fire broke out at an industrial site in Kidderminster. Flames soared high into the air, spreading uncontrollably, while thick black smoke billowed across the area, carried far by the wind. A massive fire suddenly erupted right in the middle of the street, with fierce, blazing flames rapidly consuming everything in their path with terrifying intensity. Thick, swirling black smoke billowed up, blanketing the sky and creating a chaotic and frightening scene. The people nearby stood frozen in shock, overwhelmed with fear and confusion, none daring to approach the raging fire for fear of harm.
What started as a seemingly ordinary car fire quickly turned into a terrifying disaster. At first, just a faint trail of smoke and a few small flames emerged from the engine bay. But within seconds, a rapid series of 5 to 6 violent explosions ripped through the vehicle, like fireworks detonating in the middle of the street. Each explosion sent shockwaves through the air, igniting massive fireballs that engulfed the entire car. Thick black smoke spiraled upward, blanketing the sky above. The force of the blast shattered the windows, sending shards flying in all directions. Bystanders screamed and ran in panic, trying to escape the danger zone. In moments, the car was nothing more than a charred, twisted metal frame. Police forces were dispatched to the scene, but the damage was already evident. The car had been completely incinerated, and the surrounding area was shrouded in a heavy atmosphere filled with thick smoke and the acrid stench of burning. Approaching the vehicle was impossible, as multiple items inside had continued to explode in succession, posing a serious danger.
An electric vehicle malfunctioned on the highway and suddenly exploded with tremendous force. Flames erupted from the engine compartment, accompanied by thick black smoke rising high into the sky, forcing nearby vehicles to come to an abrupt stop. The explosion caused panic, with people fleeing the scene, turning the busy highway into a scene of chaos. Lightning struck two moving cars on the road, producing a terrifying explosion, with brilliant flashes tearing through the darkened sky. The explosion erupted moments after the man left the scene, a narrow escape from personal disaster. The powerful blast completely demolished the public laundry facility, leaving behind rubble and ashes, shaking the surrounding area. A massive and terrifying fire broke out, engulfing and destroying everything in its path. The flames erupted with intense fury, accompanied by thick, black smoke billowing high into the sky, blanketing the entire horizon. The thunderous explosions from wartime bombings tear through the sky, unleashing terrifying scenes of fire, thick black smoke, and trembling ground. War is brutal and merciless. Flames erupted on an upper floor, with thick white smoke billowing into the sky. Scorched debris fell from above, adding to the danger below. Firefighters approached from multiple directions, working urgently to bring the blaze under control.